Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Levinson and Associates weekly training webinar series. So, exciting stuff, unique for us. We have a doubleheader this week. So, obviously, today we're on here at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And then tomorrow we are back again at the same time, 3 p.m. Eastern, talking about guaranteed issue for your impaired risk cases. So, a new e-app. A new product launch we're going to go over, so don't forget to be on that call tomorrow, same time. It's going to be a quick one, about 30, 40 minutes. Today we're going to run for about 50 minutes, and then we're going to give away an Amazon tablet, an Amazon Echo, and a prospecting book for business owners, okay? So, and the purpose of this book is for agents to literally hand it over to a business owner as a complimentary gift, and by the time they're done reading it, which it's done very nicely in layman's terms, they are ready to make an appointment with you, okay, to talk about various strategies. So, and these, by the way, are not $22 a month term cases, okay? These typically are $10, $15, $30, $50,000 of target premium. So this is a great part of the industry that it's very, very important that you know enough to be dangerous, okay? Know the basics, like I always say. And then, of course, we can bring in, let's say, an advanced case design rep. We can bring in Mary Reed. We can bring in Michael, who's also speaking today if we need to. So don't forget that. I always say, like, for you all, you know, never, number one, ever share consumer information with a IMO or a GA or an MGA. I see a lot of these webinars now that an IMO puts on, just like we're doing right now. But what they're doing is they're catering to the prospect. And then what they're telling the agents to do is, hey, send over your prospects. Okay, we're going to have an hour webinar. Send me all your prospects. Okay, and we're going to sell them. Okay, well, it sounds great, and you basically don't have to do any of the work. But what happens in 6 months or a year when you get a referral? Or let's say that prospect is now ready to purchase, right? A year from now, and all they remember is that logo in the left corner of the screen and that website. Okay, how is that IMO or that GA going to remember, oh, that's Bill Levinson's prospect, and we're going to get Bill back involved so he can make the commission on this, okay? No, never, ever share prospect information with an IMO or GA before the sale's made. You never want to do that. So getting back to my point, know enough to be dangerous so you, let's say Bill Levinson, for example, can host your own webinars. You can make the sale, right? And then, of course, you can reel in, let's say, an advanced case design rep from one of the carriers, okay, to help you make the sale. That's fine, okay, but you need to be in charge. You need to be in control. You need to get these referrals from the prospects, okay? It's very important. It's about your brand, okay? We even have, and speaking of this, I just thought about it, we have 2 webinars that, in fact, we put together an entire slide deck that help you make the sale, okay? The point is you invite, let's say, business owners to your webinar, you know, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, and you have all these prospects on the phone. You're hosting it, and we put all the material together for you, but it has your logo, your phone number, and you're the one doing the talking and the selling, okay? So we're going to launch those probably within about a week to 14 days. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That's another big value add. There's no charge for that, of course, as long as you're active with us. But again, let's focus on today's presentation. Very important stuff here. Write down notes. I want to make sure you walk away with nuggets, okay? And you have to know enough to be dangerous, and that is what you will walk away with after the next 52, 55 minutes of listening to the 4 of us speak today. Okay, so what we did is we handpicked the carrier that's on with us today, and the reason why they have some great sales strategies for business owners. We also have a few other platforms that are also focused on business owners, and then we have some pretty neat tools that allow you to collect the names, numbers, emails, addresses of business owners so you can create your own leads, okay, without spending $100, okay, for every lead that you purchase. So some pretty cool stuff. Now, the hand-selected carrier of the day is Mutual of Omaha, and we have two guest speakers joining us, Michael and Steven. You're going to hear from in about 10 minutes. But I wanted to do real fast before they jump on is talk about some of the updates here at Levinson. So let's move forward real fast, and there we go. Okay, so a couple stats. In fact, if you're on our social media pages, we share a bunch of great content that you can share, or we can even co-brand for you, because you should be posting at least once a week on all of your social media pages, okay? This is a statistic that we launched on our Facebook and Instagram page this morning. In 2018, this is crazy. Think about this number for a second. In 2018, 28% of millennials said they would buy life insurance online. Today, 29% of all consumers said they would purchase life insurance online. So what has changed, folks? Well, I'll tell you what has changed, like it or not, COVID, the pandemic. Okay, what did this do? It forced everyone to go online, to build a social media page, to sell virtual and over the phone, right? Like it or not, the days of the Ponderosa buffet seminar were pretty much over during the pandemic, right? I mean, how many people can you get to go to Ponderosa and listen to you talk about annuities or IUL, right? Or business owner strategies or solutions for 2.5 hours? Not happening. So again, it forced everyone to go online. What does that tell you? And I don't care if you're 17 or 87, you need to get comfortable with Zoom, GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar, our website, quoting on the phone, okay? It's all up to you now, and it's time to pivot and change, or you become like a Blockbuster Video and Yellow Cab, okay, which you don't want to become. You want to be the Ubers and the Netflix of the world, right? It's not rocket science. You know, we were thinking and we were putting the pieces in place, okay, years ago, okay? And Sure Me Now Direct came out 7-8 years ago. We had a vision, we had a dream that things would move online in the near future, okay, 7-8 years ago. Well, look what happened 2.5 years ago. So we were prepared. We were proactive. Because of that, our numbers are up 15 to 25% year after year. Our agent base is over 21,000, okay? And I'm not here to toot my own horn, okay? I'm just want you all to understand that when we say don't listen to the words we say, watch what we do, okay? The proof is in the pudding. That's why I wanted to bring up this point. You as an agent have to think the same way. Okay, so real quick, enough of my ranting. These are a few testimonials that came in recently from our agents that I wanted to share. How can we improve our service to you, our client, which is obviously the agent? The staff is always amazing, and Lisa, is always so nice and helpful. Okay, right below that, the service from the Levinson family is always off of the scale. Right under that, Richard, okay, one of our top MDRT agents. In fact, I think he's on right now, so thank you, Richard, for sharing this. Levinson and Associates are committed to your success. I've been with them for over 17 years of my 28 years in the business, the best IMO in the industry. And frankly, they make me a better agent. Bill, Carrie, and Ina treat you like family, okay? That's strong words. That's huge, okay? Made my day. That's what we strive for every day. And I always say this, we're not perfect by any means, okay? But what we are is we will and do promise our agents will jump in if there's a problem, because there will be. You know, we work with 90 companies and things are going to come up, okay, that are not perfect or great, and we have to be the middle person. So we'll always go to bat and try to make it right. That's the promise that we make to you all, okay? And by the way, if you feel that's not happening, pick up the phone or email me or Carrie anytime, okay, at midnight. I don't, if you know me well enough, I reply to emails at 11, 12 o'clock at night. I don't care. This is my life, okay? And you know this, if you know me well enough. If not, you'll see it in the near future. Okay, I don't want to rant anymore. Let's dive into the next slide. What's new at Levinson? We have a lot of moving parts here, and I'm not going to take too much time because I don't want to take away from the feature presentation. A couple things, though, I want to point out for the smaller term sales, especially for younger, healthier clients, bestow up to $1.5 million. Instant decision. 100% direct to consumer. That means, we were talking about social media and changing the way you do business because of the pandemic. You can literally run an ad on your Facebook page, okay, and consumers can click and run a quote. They can apply and get approved instantly, print and save their policy. You wake up 9 a.m. and your commission's sitting there in your inbox, okay, or your commission email, I should say, okay, because they pay every 2 weeks now, I believe, or every week. So that's a big plus. And $500 for every 5 paid policies above and beyond your traditional comp. And by the way, their comp is as good as any other company that sells competitive term. So it's a big plus. Okay, let's move around a little bit. Let's scroll down to the bottom. NGL still has a strong standalone LTC product, $100 Amazon gift card we're giving away with every app submitted. Banner Life has made some changes, okay, from paper to e-application, speaking about technology, right? And by the way, as much as these consumers and agents were forced to change, right, in the beginning of this pandemic, the carriers had to do the same thing, okay? And Mike and Steve can tell you, too, that everybody was scrambling. They're not Mutual of Omaha, but there was a few carriers that still had products where the agent had to see the consumer face-to-face to make a sale. Talk about 1987, folks, okay? Well, guess what? That changed within about 8 weeks because everybody knew they had to change, right, to this new digital environment if they were going to be successful. Consumers, agents, carriers, IMOs, GAs, all across the board. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit. Great Western, that is the training we have tomorrow. It's a new product launch, and they have this new revamped e-application. And here's what's cool about it. It's one app, one e-app online, 3 products built into the one app. So if your client can't qualify for immediate, they have a graded option. If they can't qualify for graded, they have a guaranteed issue option. All on the same app, all done in real time. I've never seen a guaranteed issue product that works like this and that is this fast. So very cool stuff. Let's move on to the right-hand side. I'm going to scroll around a little bit. So this new Ringy CRM tool, okay, you probably heard me talk about it. This thing is a game changer, okay, and I'm not saying that lightly. I did our podcast yesterday with the CEO. It is freaking amazing, okay? If you're an insurance agent today and you have, I would say, at least 50 people in your network, 50 prospects, leads, your book of business, 50 clients, neighbors, friends, network, all the above. If you have at least 50 people, okay, I would go in there. You get, first of all, if you're a Levinson agent, you get a 30% discount, $69 a month if you're a Levinson agent, okay? And if you're still on the fence, first of all, no, there's no commitment. You're not committed to a year or 2 or 5, okay? But if you're still on the fence, you can run a free trial. And here's my promise to you. If you have at least 50 contacts in your Outlook database, let's say, put them in Ringy, okay? Run a campaign, and it sends out a series of texts, of phone calls, which, by the way, you have to trigger, okay? Emails, okay? It's different touches. And let's say over a 7 or 8 week period, you can run one campaign. I personally will guarantee you'll get at least 5 to 7% return, where people say, these could have been old leads sitting on a shelf collecting dust, 5 to 7% return, where this person or business owner or friend or neighbor says, Bill, I want to set up a call, and they'll literally fill in your calendar, Tuesday, 2 p.m., Bill Levinson, call Mary Smith, okay? It's that simple. It works. And here's why I'm making the promise. We tried it. I looked at this thing and I said, you know what? We're an IMO. We service and recruit agents and GAs, right? We know that. Okay. Can you imagine how many leads that we have that are sitting on a shelf collecting dust over the years, right? Let's say maybe we spoke to them and 2 or 3 days goes by, they forgot about what our offer was even, okay? So what we did is said, you know what, let's use the system. Instead of marketing to consumers, we're going to use this for agents. So we did it, okay? And I think we put in like 2,000 agents that are not active Levinson agents. And the return, and this is over like a 6-week period, the return was like 10 to 14%, and we brought on about 7% new agents out of that batch. So I know for a fact the system works, and with the free trial, there's nothing to lose, and you save 30%. So think of it like this, and I don't want to confuse everyone or rant again, but think of it like this. If we all know, it's a fact, right? The carrier knows this, we know this, agents know this. There is no, for the most part, there is no sale made until the number 5th through 12th follow-up call or touch or text or email, right? We know that. It's a fact. Any sales position in this world, okay? Most of the sales or recruiting is made from number 5 to 12. Now, look in the mirror and say, Bill, have you been successful in calling every consumer or agent, okay, the 5th time, the 8th time, or the 12th time? Or did you give up after 2 or 3 tries? Okay? Most of you have to admit the truth. You probably gave up after 2 or 3 or 4 times. Well, what this system does, it's like a personal assistant on autopilot for free. It's going to call and touch your consumers 12 times, 15 times until they say, Bill, I'm buying, or they say, Bill, get me out of this dumb program. They opt out. One of the two is going to happen, but you're going to maximize every lead in the meantime. Okay? Set it and forget it. If I was an agent today, I would have every single contact, every person I know in Ringy, and this would be like my personal assistant because it works. Okay. Again, you're going to hear the podcast. It'll be launching by the weekend, and you'll hear more from the CEO and myself. And I really, truly believe this will change your game and your year if you use a platform like Ringy. And here's the coolest part. We're talking right now to the biggest tech vendor that has the largest e-app presence in the life insurance space. And what we're working on is integrating Ringy, the CRM tool. So let's say you're the agent, you have your Ringy platform up, and Bill Levinson's the client. Bill says, hey, I want to buy this 20-year term, $100,000 policy, okay? You can click Bill Levinson's button or profile. It will take all Bill's info and populate it into the e-application. I don't want to tell you the name of it because the deal is not signed yet, but it's almost done. So it will take all of that info, put it into the e-application for you with the click of a button. The next button you click as the agent is submit or process, and you are done, okay? Talk about easy, streamlined, high-tech, changing your year, okay? That's going to be huge. And by the way, the deal is almost done, so that's why I'm talking about it right now. It's amazing stuff. Okay. We have our 411 updates video coming out next week, and then those 2 new life insurance presentations. Remember, I was talking about you knowing enough to be dangerous and hosting your own webinar for consumers, business owners. We're launching the 2 pre-made webinars for you by next week, and we can co-brand those for you as well with your name and your logo, not some GA or MGA or IMO that's talking to your consumers before a sale is made. Not okay. You need to be doing that, okay? Very important stuff. Okay, enough of my ranting. Let's jump into our feature presentation of the day. And by the way, make sure you're on until the end because we have our giveaway, and you have to answer one of the questions correctly, and then we'll announce your name at the end, and you win. Okay, it's that simple. So stay on until the end. Also, use that Q&A box in the question pane there. Expand it if you need to. And if we have enough time, we can ask Mike and Stephen a few questions about everything we're going over today. So without further ado, I want to introduce our Mutual of Omaha RVP and my friend, Michael Marasco. Mike, you there, buddy?
I'm here. Thank you for the introduction, Bill. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this. It is an honor to be able to take time or be part of your day and talk a little bit about Mutual of Omaha. Prior to bringing Steve up, I just wanted to make sure that I make mention of what a wonderful IMO that you are working with Levinson and Associates. They do a wonderful job. They have our complete attention as they're one of our top shops. So when they say they can call and get things done, believe me, they can and they do. Right now, just a quick little point I want to make out to you is we are very involved in the IUL market space right now. We have wonderful, wonderful products, and we can get into the nuts and bolts of that and even give you some presentations on those products. But we do have a wide range of products that will fit every need of all of your customers. So without taking time from Steve, I can throw that back out to the folks at Levinson's office, and we will see what we can do to help promote that and do some things for you in that light. Today, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Stephen Alloway, who is a JD, MBA, whatever alphabet letters you want to post, he's probably got them after his name. He's going to talk to us about the stay bonus, and that area, our advanced markets, has a plethora of sales concepts and ideas that we can share with you. And we're going to kick it off with the stay bonus. So, Stephen, it's all yours.
Hey, thanks, Mike, and thanks. We really appreciate the opportunity to address you guys. So I want to thank Bill and Andrew for making this possible. And boy, it sounds like you've got a lot of great things happening at Levinson here. So I'm not sure why I keep jumping out of slideshow mode here, but we'll keep it going here. I'm going to talk about a couple of business planning concepts here, and actually a little more than two. There's kind of like each one has kind of a variant that that you can use with it as well. But they both kind of go by the name stay bonus. So I know it's a little confusing that we kind of use the same name for a couple of different concepts, but basically the stay bonus has two types. There's one that encourages some of the top employees to stay with a particular company, which, as we'll talk in a minute, that now that seems to be much more of an issue maybe than, or people are more aware of that as an issue. I'm not sure it's worse. It's just people are more aware of it now. And the other stay bonus that we talk about is a way of protecting family succession, family business succession for the next generation. So let's take a look at that. Let's start with the first one, the encouraging the top employees to stay. Now, I think a good conversation that you can have with business owners is, well, even backing up a second from this, however unique a business owner may think his or her business is, there is probably another business that is doing basically the same thing. And so when you've got a business owner that's doing well, maybe is leading the industry, I think it's fair to ask, there are other businesses that do what you do. Why do people come to you rather than going to these other places? You're doing better than some of the others. Why is that? They will almost always say they'll always say it's X, it's Y, it's whatever we do. Usually they'll say something along the lines of it's our great service. We really treat people well after the sale. We don't forget about them. So then I think a fair question would be, well, all right, who's doing that? Who provides that great service for you? Say, well, it's my great employees. These people are the best. They know what to do. They do a great job. So then I think a good question is, well, if that's the case, if your employees, if the good employees that you've got are your competitive advantage, that's the reason people come to you versus going to your competition. I bet you've got a lot of insurance on them because, if something happened to one of them, that would be pretty bad for your business. So I bet you have a lot of insurance on them, don't you? And too often they'll go, because they don't have a lot of insurance on them, unfortunately. So this is a concept where, maybe they can get some insurance on some of those people and maybe keep them with the company. And right now, I think a good question to ask right now is, hey, is it difficult to keep your top employees during, what we might call the Great Resignation here? Well, I think to some extent, I think the Great Resignation maybe is misnamed. It's maybe more the Great Reshuffling, the Great Realignment. I guess I've looked into this a little bit. People are changing jobs. They're not necessarily going out of the labor force. They're changing jobs, which in a way, that's more of a threat to a business owner if you think about it, because they're not deciding to retire. They are deciding to go work for the competition. So, if you're having trouble keeping your good employees now, maybe it's time to do something with them. This is some research I did that shows that this really is a long-term trend. Now, COVID obviously kicked it, into high gear here, obviously, but it's really been going on for quite some time. The average monthly quit rate has increased for all those years from 2009 to 2019. And there's some research from the Harvard Business Review. This is basically the percentage quit rate for all those years from 2009. So you can see this has really been a building trend. Now, 2000 was a little weird, but we caught right back up and surpassed it in 2001. So, yes, COVID was a factor. So a lot of business owners might say, well, that's just a short-term problem. Once we're really out of COVID, I won't have to worry about this. No, you will. You will still have to worry about it, because this is a trend that is much bigger than COVID, and so it's not really driven by that pandemic. So what's driving it? Well, Great Resignation stats some more research I did. Number one reason: toxic company culture, toxic work environment. About half just left, basically gave 1 week or less notice. 1 in 4 gave none at all. And I thought this was really interesting too. 80% got a counteroffer from their employer, which probably means the employer matched or maybe even beat whatever other job they were going to take, and they still quit. So it's not just about the money. I mean, more money is good, but it's really about the culture of the company and the flexibility of the job, and feeling valued, and feeling like you're treated like you are providing some value to the company. So, and this just kind of reinforces what we were just looking at here. So I think questions to ask a business owner are there employees here you would really like to keep? Might say, yeah, I'd like to keep all of them. Well, but are there some you really, really, if some leave, you could recover, but are there some you really want to keep? Are there employees you'd like to do something extra for? Maybe they're doing a better job than others in the similar job, and maybe you can't really pay them more because then you have to pay everybody more. But is there something you'd like? Are employees you'd like to do something extra for? If you could get a tax deduction for giving employees an incentive to stay, would that make it even more attractive to give them that incentive? Yeah, sure would. What about an employee plan that didn't need IRS approval? Because invariably a business owner is going to ask, yeah, I'd like to do something for them, but I don't want to do something for everybody in the company, and I don't want all the filing and the ERISA stuff and all that. Well, what if there was a plan you didn't have to worry about all that? You didn't have to do it for everybody. You could, but you don't have to. And you don't have to worry about ERISA and IRS approval and all that good stuff. And program that doesn't have a lot of ongoing administration. Well, executive bonus is exactly that program. It's a selective benefit. It's got very low maintenance. Typically whoever does the payroll, whoever does the financial bookkeeping for the company can handle whatever maintenance it is. You don't have to be a CPA or a third-party administrator or anything to do that. The employer, if it's a non-owner on a pass-through business, or even if it's a C Corp, you could even be the owner, business gets a tax deduction. So there's a tax deduction not because it's premium, but it's a tax deduction because it's considered compensation. It's then taxable to the employee. But the employer, if they want to, can gross up the bonus to take care of that tax liability. It's a great way to retain valuable employees and to reward them, and it might be a good antidote to the Great Resignation, which I think has been going on for over 10 years and probably is going to continue. So from the employee side, why would an employee be motivated by this? Well, most of them need more insurance than they have, and they probably don't have as much insurance as they need because they have a cash flow issue. They can't afford more. They probably need to put more toward retirement than they're putting toward retirement. And the reason I say that is most people on average are underinsured and not saving enough for retirement. So I think it's a fair bet that most of the employees are in that situation. And it's not because they don't want to retire someday. It's because, again, they don't have the cash flow to do all that and, pay mortgages and school tuition and cars and all that stuff. So what if the company can solve that problem for them? Because the company has cash flow. Company can solve that problem for them. If they're already inclined to like the company, they're going to like the company a whole lot more if the company does that for them. So they are much more likely to stay with that employer. So the benefits, obviously, they get a low, maybe a zero cost, zero out-of-pocket insurance, and the employee is the owner of the policy. The company is the payor, but the employee is the owner of the policy, names the beneficiary. Unless there's a restriction on it, they control the cash flow. Death benefit goes tax-free to whoever their beneficiary is, just like any life insurance policy, like a typical life insurance policy. So a lot of benefits to the employee, and for the employer, they get that selective benefit, that maybe that way to retain some of their top employees. They get that tax deduction. And the note here, the IRS has said there have been some tax cases on bonuses. They said a bonus is considered compensation as long as it's reasonable compensation. That becomes an issue when the owner is trying to bonus him or herself, because then, okay, well, that's unreasonable compensation. We're going to treat that as a dividend, which you can't deduct. But I am not aware of any tax case ever that said that an employer paying a non-owner employee was unreasonable. I think the view is, if the owner wants to pay, if the owner thinks the employee is worth that much, okay, that really doesn't become an issue for non-owners. Best of all, for a lot of employers, they don't have the restrictions on contributions, because we've had, you've probably run into this too, where maybe a business owner wants to set up a qualified plan, but then says, if I do that, I'm going to be really limited on what I can put in, and I want to save more than that, but I won't be able to because most of the salaries are a lot lower for most of the people that will be in the plan. So don't have any of those restrictions here with this plan. Maybe best of all, you can end the plan at any time. You don't need to be an annuity to buy you out of a pension type of situation. You can end if the company has hard times, or if you decide, hey, this employee isn't as good as I thought, you can stop it at any point. So it's a lot of flexibility for the employer. So you may be thinking, hey, you can do this for one employee, you can do it for a couple. What if an employer wanted to do this for like everybody, all the employees? Could they do that? Could they do this in a way that would give a retirement plan that has a lot more flexibility? And the short answer is yes. Not only a lot more flexibility, but unlike typical retirement plans, this would or could create tax-free income for the employees. So the employer would get a tax deduction for funding it. The employees would be able to access tax-free income in retirement. So how would that work? Well, we had a case not too long ago where a company had 10 employees, no retirement plan. The owner, didn't want the administrative hassle and also wanted to be able to contribute more than he was likely going to be able to because his salary was dramatically higher than everybody else's. Didn't want to be limited on that, and didn't want to have the 59.5 rule where, okay, you got a penalty if you take the money prior to age 59.5. Of course, with doing this with our IUL policies, there's, you can take the cash out whenever the cash appears. You don't have to be 59 and a half or any particular age to do that. So what we did, we put our income advantage IUL, which is our cash building IUL, put that in place for the employees. The employer got a tax deduction. They were set to build cash. They don't have the 59 and a half limit, no preset contribution limit. So the employer did a big one for himself, obviously too, but most importantly, that flexibility. And now he's got a lot more happy employees. I mean, I don't know that they were unhappy before, but they are even happier now because they've got tax-free income in retirement to look forward to. Let's see. Okay. So why bonus with life insurance? I mean, you really can bonus, you can bonus with cash, you can bonus with all kinds of things. But life insurance, I think the reason to use life insurance is the same reason life insurance makes sense in a lot of other contexts as well. It's got that tax-free death benefit, the tax advantage cash that you can build, tax-free loans, and a lot of flexibility. It's portable and all kinds of nice reasons. Probably most of which it's pre-funded. So an employee that has this policy in place as part of their benefits is it's fully funded from day one. It doesn't have to build cash or build equity in the plan. It's there from day one. So if unfortunately something happens early on, the family is protected versus, they got a year's worth of contributions into the plan, maybe 2 years, better than no years, but that's not really where they wanted to be. So we have a piece on executive bonus as part of our business planning series of pieces that we'd be glad we can get into your hands if you wanted to use this with clients. These are of course approved for use with clients, with the public. So let's talk about the second stay bonus. And this is one that involves family business succession. We sometimes call this key employee with a twist because this doesn't use so much the executive bonus concept. This really is a variation on the key employee concept. This came about because we've had several family-run businesses. Some were in second, even third generation of family succession, and they were interested in ways of keeping it in the family, keeping that succession going. So we came up with a way of doing key employee, a variant on key employee that would provide a bonus that could help give peace of mind to that family succession. Key employee in general is a real quick review. It's designed to put some money into the company. It's a company-owned, company beneficiary policy. Replace lost profits, helps with replacing that important employee. So the twist that we use with this is we had a business owner. This is not their actual picture, but this actually kind of looks like them a little bit. We had a business owner that was in his 50s, had a next generation that was in their 20s, and the business owner said, I'm not in a hurry to retire. I'm going to work some more years, and I want my kids to take over. The kids are really just kind of starting in the business. Said, but and if I can work with them for 10 years, let's say, that's about when I would want to retire. If I can work with them for 10 years, I can train them. I'm not worried about that at all. But what I'm worried about is, what if I die prematurely? I mean, he's in decent health, so there's no, he wasn't worried about anything specific. But he said, what if I don't make it 10 years? Then what's going to happen? Well, they'll take over the business, but they won't have the expertise. They won't have the experience. Some of the main employees, the key employees, might not stay because they remember this kid when he was a little kid, so they might not stay and work for these kids. I want a way to protect that succession and make sure that I'm not setting them up for a business failure here. So twist would be, first question we ask, do you have any employees, one or more, who could train them if you can't? I said, yeah. Yeah, I do. In fact, I got 2 of them. So, all right. Would they stay and train them? And he said, well, I don't know. I said, well, if you paid them, if you gave them a bonus, would they stay and train the next generation? I said, well, yeah, if I pay them, they probably would. I say, well, what would it take? And then you come up with a number. But the idea is that you put key employee coverage on the owner, because the idea is, hey, if the owner survives, if the owner lives, the owner's going to do the training. He's only worried if he dies. So if the owner dies, that death benefit goes into the company. Based on the agreement, he pays that bonus or bonus. If he had both employees stay, he pays a bonus to each of them, and they have an agreement to stay, X number of years and provide the training. So that's a way that was the only piece that business owner was worried about, and that really gave that business owner a lot of peace of mind that the succession was going to happen the way he really wanted it to have happen, the way the kids wanted it to happen too. That there would be enough incentive to keep those key employees and to not only keep them in the company, but to keep them, have them kind of show the ropes to the next generation, have them do the training. So I think the bottom line with the stay bonus is, happy employees mean greater retention, and generally happy employees mean, higher sales and more money for the company as well. So this is really something that can help out a lot of companies. And I'd encourage you, certainly, if you've got some businesses that this would make some sense for, I'd be glad to work with you. You can get in touch with us through Bill or through Mike, and we'll be glad to work with you on that. So with that, I think, I don't know if Andrew, I think that's all I've got. I don't know if we have any questions or if you guys have any final comments, Bill or Andrew.
No, that was great. That was great, Steve. What I want to do real quick, Andrew, do we have any questions that came in? Anything? Well, we have Mutual of Omaha on the line here.
Yes, I have 2 good questions that I've picked here for Stephen.
Okay. Great.
All right. Question 1 is from Sal. He asks, if a husband and wife are business partners and they each earn $250,000 a year, is there a contribution limitation in this scenario?
No. Short answer is no. If they're doing if they do the second one or the first one.
Well, I guess let's say either, but I think the first.
Okay.
This question came in when you were explaining the first one.
Oh, okay. So on the first one, if they're owners, the only limitation would be that it has to be reasonable compensation for the owners. So now you may ask, what is reasonable compensation? Well, the tax courts have really not cooperated with defining that very well. They've said, well, it's compensation that would be typical for someone in that area in that job. It's like, well, thanks. That really doesn't tell me much. So they don't have a built-in limit or ratio or anything. But if they're making 250, it would, to a large extent, it would depend on what industry they're in. There are some industries where if you're making 250, you could have a bonus of 250, and that's the industry standard. In some other industries, if you have a bonus of 25,000, if you're making 250, and that's the industry standard. So it kind of would depend on the industry, but they would have a lot of flexibility on that. And like say, in some industries, they could essentially double their salaries. But it would kind of depend on the industry.
Got it.
Okay.
Great. Okay. So question 2.
You got one more,
would be. Yep, I got one more, and that and so we have a question that wants to confirm the taxation part of what you said. So they're asking, are we sure that if the premiums are tax deductible to the business, is the income or distribution that comes out of them tax-free to the actual user, which is the employee? Usually it's only one or the other, so we just want to confirm that.
Yes, if the that wouldn't be true of a company-owned policy, but on the first stay bonus that we were talking about, the individual is the owner of the policy in that case. So the bonus is deductible by the company, and then it's taxable to the individual. So there is a taxation that goes on, with that. So it's treated like, like an individually owned life policy. So that the death benefit and policy loans and everything would all not be taxable.
Beautiful. Okay. All right. Good stuff. All right, Mike or Stephen, is there anything else that that you want to mention before we finish up here?
Well, what I would want to mention is that with the the broad breadth of policies that we have, anything from the IULs to Children's Whole Life, we have everything that's going to touch the needs of your customers out there. And with that in mind, I think it's just incumbent, and it's wonderful that you're working with Levinson and Associates, because they know all of those products. And I just, at this time, I'm a sales guy like you, Bill. So I don't want to ramble on and lose everybody, but just understand that whatever your customers need out there, we have a policy that will fit that need. And we would love to really embrace the opportunities to earn your business through Levinson. And I'll tell you something, again, I can't speak highly enough of that organization. As a carrier, they are fantastic. They're wonderful to work with. They know their business and they know how to get things done. So that's it for me, Bill.
That was perfect. Okay, good stuff, guys. Yeah, and anything else that you need as far as Mutual of Omaha goes, just reach out to our marketing department. Also, don't forget, if you already have a contract, maybe it's through another IMO, take advantage of the cash for contracting or leads for contracting that comes with your first paid app when you transfer. Plus, most of the time, we beat your existing commission level, or at the very minimum, match it. Okay, so we're going to include all of these brochures, coupons in the thank you email that you'll receive tonight before we leave. So you'll have that, and then of course you can reach out to anybody in our team. Okay, just a couple more things I want to mention, because you just heard some pretty cool strategies, right, for business owners, and I want to show you how you can create these leads or prospects, okay, and some of the databases that you can dive into, okay, when you get a free moment that are available. Most of you are not aware of this. So real fast, getting started, this will also be in the thank you email. There's a little blue button on our website. And then, of course, step 2 is all of the business owner marketing material, brochures, flyers, everything at your fingertips, so you can host your own presentation, okay, and know enough to be dangerous. We also have a bunch of training webinars that we did in the past that I think could be really beneficial for all of you listening out there. So definitely take a look when you can. Okay, let's move forward here. So what I want to do real fast is talk about some of the tools and platforms that you could leverage as an active Levinson agent. So number 1, and we don't have this listed, but it's important to know, Agency Automator will give you a list of business owners, okay? It will literally spit out names, numbers, emails, addresses in a zip code, in an area code, whatever criteria you enter in the system. So you can take advantage of that. We have millions and millions of prospects in that database, okay? Also, Erisapedia, okay, another great platform. This is 100% complimentary for active Levinson agents. Another plus for you all. Now, this is what's so neat here. You can actually say, okay, I'm Bill Levinson, life insurance agent, Coral Springs, area code 33067. I want to look in a 50-mile radius for all business owners that have current pension plans. And what this does is it gives you enough information where when you make the call to that business, you know enough to be dangerous, okay? And you typically, if you're just calling out of the blue and you have no idea what's going on inside, you're not going to be able to get to the decision maker. So this gives you all of the ammunition to get in the door and know about the company and what programs they have in place. So very cool platform, Erisapedia. And then on the right-hand side, you talk about value add, right? So you need the tools, right? You need the platforms to say to the business owner, hey, I have something that can help you, and it's free. So this is complete turnkey business owner valuation software, another complimentary service, and it allows you to sit down with that business owner and go over a pretty accurate valuation of the company. Okay, you can put in all the details, and then it literally will give you a report that allows you to know enough to be dangerous, and then talk about other opportunities and life insurance, key man, buy, sell, whatever the case is. Then it's up to you to pivot in the right direction. Okay, let's move forward here. This is very, very neat stuff, and it allows you to get your ad out there to the masses. Okay, this is through Assur, which is part of our agency automator program. This is just a quick example. An agent that's using the program sent this to us, and he's like, guys, this is unbelievable. I can't believe all the views that I'm getting. So this is an example of, let's say, a friend or neighbor that was in his database, okay, that went online to Yahoo Sports to look at a Dallas Cowboys score and statistics. So if you look at the page in front of you, right, that's the Yahoo ad that came up. Look at the bottom right corner. That is this agent's Insure Me Now direct ad. So everyone that clicks on his ad, they run a quote, they buy now, he just got a new client, new commission, woke up in the morning, done. Okay, and these are the numbers. Okay, how many views, how many people looked at his ad? A total of just under 30,000 ad views, almost 800 in a day. Okay, and here's what's interesting. This is the proof in the pudding. 37 people out of that top number clicked and went to his website and obviously ran a quote, and then, hopefully they filled out an application. But how cool is that? You talk about, eyeballs on your site and driving traffic, right? This is the ultimate. I love, love, love this option. So if you're an agent out there, it's about driving people to your website and social media pages, right? It's just like having a McDonald's on the street corner, right? The more traffic, the more drive-bys, right? The more attention, the more people stop and buy, okay? Same exact philosophy here. Okay, let's move forward here. So this is a great training tool. I hope you all have checked out by now. And what I love about this is I put my agent hat on, right? And I handpick these, some of these are celebrities, professional athletes, social media gurus, estate planning attorneys. Larry, for example, owns the largest automobile dealership chain in the country. We got Forbes 400 Jeff Levitetz, Jorge Solar, top left corner. He's the World Series MVP. I mean, these are big shot guys, right? And women, great professional women that I've interviewed. Sahar is the founder of Legacy Armor. These are 1 hour interviews. Like I said, I put my agent hat on, I pretend I'm you, and I fire away with questions that I think would help me if I was a life insurance agent. So check these out. Yesterday, like I said, I recorded the Ringy interview with the CEO, Brad, 31 years old. And this guy built this platform since he was 17. It's a game changer, okay? Use the free trial, use the discount, 30% off. Game changer if you're selling insurance in today's time, I promise you. So you'll see that launch by the weekend. Future trainings is what you're looking at right now. And these are all of the agency automator live daily trainings. So if you like that Assur option I just showed you and you want to check that out, Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern, every Monday, you can jump on. It's an open forum, so you can ask questions, have your assistant or spouse on, so you can make sure everyone's comfortable and you can start to leverage the latest technology and make more sales and get your name out there. Spread the word, right? You want to make sure that, let's say, Bill Levinson, South Florida, everybody knows that I'm the go-to when it comes to life insurance, annuities, critical illness, whatever it is, right? You have to brand and market. And that's why, going back to what I said almost an hour ago, when you're sending your consumers to someone else's training, a GA, a company even, that's ludicrous. Okay, you're helping them market and brand and not yourself. It's crazy. So you're better off learning enough to be dangerous and hosting your own presentations, okay, which is what I said probably 6 times already. Okay, highlighted in blue, final expense product enhancements. This is for guaranteed issue, Great Western Life, big changes. We're launching it tomorrow, 3 p.m. Make sure you're on there. It's going to be fast, 30 to 40 minutes. just under that, talk about business owner solution strategies. Mary Reed is a guru. We have her part 2 distribution solution webinar on May 12th, 3 p.m. Eastern, same time. So that's going to be another big one. By the way, she will work with you and do all of the heavy lifting and make the sale for you. So it's you and her, and it's your brand, your logo, your name. So I love that strategy, okay? Especially if you're not that comfortable in this space, that's a good option. Okay, our last slide in our giveaway. Wow, this is crazy. We're actually on time right before 4 p.m. Eastern. First off, I want to really thank Stephen and Michael with Mutual of Omaha. They did a great job. And listen, that was one strategy that we went over for business owners. Actually, 2 strategies, but their products, I mean, anywhere from final expense to express term, IUL, they really do have a great portfolio. Also, SAGE scholarship approved. That means all their products come free with a 1-year scholarship. So when you're thinking of ways to market and brand, right, and spread the word and drive eyeballs back to your site, your home base, okay, think about offering the free scholarship. 1 year, $40,000. Or you can give $500 to every single person that listens to you speak about life insurance and college funding. They get a $500 gift card, even if they don't buy a product from you. No gray area. $500 gift card, okay, 500 points, which $1 is a point for any one of our 430 colleges in the country. No brainer. It's free for you, free for the client. So you got to leverage this stuff. Okay, Positive Tuesday quote. And by the way, when I talk about, and I always say this, is you don't have to listen to what I say, but watch what we do. Follow us on social media. Okay, and this is my quote every Tuesday, right? We don't sell on a retail level, but I need to brand and market to our agents, right? I want to be top of mind when it comes to you all thinking, hybrid LTC, final expense, critical illness. I want everyone to remember Levinson and Associates. So this is my way of doing it. This is my quote every single Tuesday. Don't try to be the best. Be the only. Get creative. Get scrappy is what I like to call it. Find your own niche and run with it, okay? The opportunities are endless. You can spend 3.5 weeks straight on our website and never come across the same thing for 3.5 weeks, okay? There's so much information there. So find your niche, okay, whatever you love to do, and you run with it. That's exactly what we did, okay, since 1972. We were always a little bit different, and that's what separated us from the rest of the competition out there, okay? Okay, question of the day. So whoever answers first and correctly wins tablet and Amazon Echo and prospecting book. You must be an active agent with us. So active meaning active appointment, and you must have written at least 1 application. That's all we ask, okay? You got to answer first. Question is, I was talking about the Ringy new CRM platform, okay? I spoke about our discount. Tell me, with our discount, what is the monthly price of Ringy, okay? What is the monthly price of the Ringy CRM tool with our discount? And I'll give you a little hint if you didn't get it yet. It's 30% off. So tell me the monthly price of Ringy CRM if you're a Levinson active agent. Andrew, do we have a winner today?
We do. Gerard S. Gerard S. from Florida is the first correct answer.
Gerard, congrats, $69.95. That's 30% off for the first 6 months. I just want to thank everyone once again. I hope you walked away with a nugget or two. That's what this is all about. And if not, send me an email, right? Because I want to make these bigger and better for you all. I also want to apologize. We had some technical issues on the Mutual of Omaha presentation slides. So my apologies for that and some background noise. So anyway, hope to see you tomorrow, Friday, 3 p.m. Everybody should be working on impaired risk cases as well. Don't just throw away those leads. Lots of commissions, lots of money to be made, and families to help, even with impaired risk consumers. Let's have a great Thursday. See you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Thanks again, everyone.